Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Toon Review. My name is Paul. I am joined tonight by Sam and Billy, and this is your evening Newcastle United news. The search for a striker goes on. The Visa deal is all up in the air now. God knows we'll get Sam and Billy's views on that. And, of course, Jamie O'Hara's comments about us holding Isak to ransom, etc. So a lot to get through in the show. You never know. Things change as the show goes on. If you do enjoy it, though, please do give it the thumbs up. Very important we keep those coming in for the channel. And, of course, if you are new, please do subscribe. It is free of charge. All we ask for is that you basically hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. And, of course, super chats are available. That's the $ at the bottom of the live comments. That will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show should you wish to donate. And, of course, become a member of the Toon Review by hitting that join button just underneath us. We have some member prizes later on this week, so you have to be in it to win it. Good evening to my colleagues.
Oh, good evening to the Toon Review Massive, the Magpie Massive, and you fantastic people out there in Viewerland.
All right.
All right, and of course, Sam, we are already getting loads of comments coming in. People are loving the hair. It's like you never brush it.
Me magpie's nest on top of me heat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Big hair, don't care. I love my big hair normally, but she's had it done today. Took a cheeky little half-day holiday. Little
absolutely time. Like how
the GCT actually in the hair, eh? The GCT they're called.
Well, I wouldn't know, Billy. I'm no idea.
Oh, GHD.
Oh, GHD, Billy. Yeah. Why on earth are me and you trying to come up with hair straighteners, Billy? Because they're just not used for us.
Just sell them on the shop there, Paul.
Well, Toon Review hair straighteners. Absolutely. There's a... Hey, why not? There's a thought. But the flock of seagulls are gone. They're actually, it's all straight hair now. So there you go.
What a great band name.
The flock of seagulls, yeah. Brian H is a new member. He has signed up tonight. Thank you very much, Brian. Welcome to Members Club. And Charlie has also gifted a Toon Review membership. So thank you very, very much for that. Right. Let's get into this, shall we? We'll start off with Mr. Jamie O'Hara, that fantastic ex-footballer, and a bit of a cockwomble, it has to be said. He turned around this morning, Sam, on Sky this morning, and said that Newcastle are basically holding Isak to ransom. And the reasons he gave for that is because the player himself has ambitions to win things, and we shouldn't be stopping the player achieving his ambitions. What do you make of that?
I'd reverse it. What about our club ambitions? What about stopping us winning things? It's mind-blowing. However, I do think the majority of ex-professionals and sports TV pundits in the mainstream media are all very much seeing it from our perspective now, given the amount of poor behavior that we've seen. I am going to be honest with everybody, though. I'm starting to get very nervous that this is going to turn into legal action, which may turn the tide of transfer windows. We know this European Commission thing's going to be hearing out a case to let players go whenever they choose, essentially making contracts null and void. I'm now nervous that if we don't offload him, it'll end up going to court. We will get far less than anticipated if we try and sell him. So we are in a really, really difficult situation now that we might have to crumble just so it doesn't get to that extent.
Yeah. And the thing is, Billy, you look at this O'Hara, and just a few years ago, the video's out there again being posted. This guy decided to tell Tottenham at the time to do all they could to hang on to Harry Kane. Don't sell him at all costs. Yet now he's telling us that we have to let Isak go because we're holding him to ransom.
Well, it was a famous gentleman's agreement, and to all intents and purpose, Harry Kane was about to be a Manchester City player. But they reneged on the gentleman's agreement, and he stayed an extra year or two and ended up going to Bayern Munich. There was no kind of furore then, was there, from Jamie O'Hara or any of the pundits that frequent Sky and Talk Sport and all that? Yeah, none at all. It's strange once we're doing it and trying to protect our asset, get what we think he's worth. That it's all suddenly some kind of crime, and we've got him tied up in a basement to a radiator, holding up today's newspaper and photos of him. Absolute bollocks. We want £150 million for him, and that's, if they don't come up with it, then he won't be going anywhere. Simple and straightforward as that for me.
Well, that's what I don't understand, Sam, is the fact that, it's not like there isn't any valuation there. It's not like we haven't told anybody that how much he's worth. If you want the player, you go and pay the value for him. That's what Newcastle have said all along. I mean, I still believe that we still need to sign 2 strikers before we even let Isak go. So it's coming down to real crunch time now.
It is for sure, but this is the theatre of everything that's been played out over the past few weeks in terms of this outrageous, and it is outrageous, behaviour, the nervousness which is set in. Like how do Newcastle win in this situation? Because we do have to think about that what is the future plan? What does the horizon look like here? It's extremely unlikely that he'll play again. And now it looks like his valuation is actually going to go down. We could be in a worse position than the 110 million. I'm getting really, really, I don't even know the next point with this. I really don't. I'm getting nervous now. Very, very nervous that this is going to take a very ugly turn.
I think it will take an ugly turn. And the thing is, Billy, we're now running out of time. And lots of people have been mentioning trying to do a deal with PSG, of course, involving Ramos and Isak going the other way, which would probably suit all parties down to the ground. Well, certainly from our point of view as a Newcastle fan, seeing Isak away from the Premier League and not at Liverpool would certainly be ideal for us. But we have to bring in players. It was evident on Saturday, despite the fact, the effort and the performance that we put in, where we're lacking, because a striker on Saturday, I think we convincingly win that game.
Yeah, and because of that, it's clear how desperate we are for striker. Certain players that we're interested in and want to sign, their value has gone up because we're desperate for a striker. Yep. So a £25 million player 3 weeks ago is now, in the eyes of the seller, worth £60 million. Surely we're not going to pay that, but it depends how desperate we are, really, doesn't it? I'll certainly go elsewhere if it comes to that kind of price tag, because there's other strikers out there you can get for £60 million who are probably better than have more future than Vissa. But that's what Brentford are doing. They're just trying to push the narrative that we're desperate and you'll pay what you want, what we want, because you need him.
Absolutely. DK35 with the super chats, thank you, mate, said should have all been over the Nkunku transfer. I think it was just the injuries probably putting Newcastle off going for Nkunku, to be honest. Joe Wilkinson has also gifted a Toon Review membership, one of our mods, of course. Thank you very much, Joe. The Vissa thing, Sam, is really strange because we're in a situation here where they've completely turned the tables on things. They had him valued at around 35, whatever that was. We went in, I think, at 28. And you would think that there was a pretty easy deal to do there. And now Brentford have turned around and almost doubled that value. Well, they have doubled it, almost to £60 million, which I don't think he's anywhere near worth that. If you're telling me that he's worth the same as Eze from Crystal Palace, you're having a laugh. He's a very good Premier League striker right now, but he's also causing a bit of ructions behind the scenes. Wiping his Instagram yesterday completely of everything to do with Brentford Football Club. His profile picture turned black. If we're going to criticise Isak, then we've also got to look at Vissa and say, yes, very two different situations, but very much the same behaviour kind of thing.
Absolutely, and I don't think any of us are condoning what Wissa is doing and how he's behaving either. It seemed like there was getting something more amicable was going to come out of that, because he did actually return to training, which seemed like hope that he was going to be able to move. But yeah, that doesn't look so obvious now. And with all due respect, if I was Brentford, given how they've just been torn apart this season in terms of players and transfers, how much would it cost them to go down? They will go down without Wissa. They will go down without Wissa.
They looked abysmal at the weekend, by the way.
They looked horrendous.
Yeah.
I watched that match as well. So they'll go down without Wissa. So actually 60 million, or how much they'll earn from staying in the Premier League. I'm sorry, it's going to come down to keeping your club up. I would be thinking exactly the same if it was Newcastle United. Poor form from them for putting a value on and then changing the goalposts. Not unheard of, but they want to stay up.
I mean, that's a good point Sam makes there, Billy, is the fact that, I think this valuation that was on Visser was before Mbeumo, of course, left and things like that, because the Mbeumo deal took a long time to do. And, people are saying, he had a gentleman's agreement, but we don't know that for certain. We don't know who he had that gentleman's agreement with. If it was Thomas Frank, then Thomas Frank has left the football club. So that becomes null and void, because it was a gentleman's agreement between Frank and Visser. If it was the chairman or somebody of that nature, then I can understand Visser being very upset, saying you've gone back on an agreement that we had. But verbal agreements are very, very dangerous these days, Billy, because they can easily be rebuffed, or we didn't really say that, this is what we said, etc. But Visser needs to just get on with it. I know it's hard, but I think he's still training, but to be honest, that's a weird situation to be in when he's cleared out his social media of anything to do with Brentford.
Yeah, he's still training, and it was down to the manager that he was pulled out of the squad at the weekend. And I agree, they were dreadful against Forest, absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
And they will get relegated without this, and they probably get relegated with him, to be fair. But there's no manager on God's earth who's going to give gentlemen's agreements to both Mbeumo and Visser at the same time. So I'm kind of sceptical on all that carry on. Must be honest.
I mean, this is something. Stato's in the chat, by the way. Stato's having a few days away. He will be back for the preview on Thursday, but he's around that. He's having a few days off. He's in the chat though. Who is this new lass in the top right? Paul looking trim and Billy in the fabulous new shirt. Oh, he's full of how that is that really Stato?
Time off's doing him good.
Been so jealous. Thank you, mate. What O'Hara also said, it kind of threw me a little bit there, but he was talking about the money situation, and then also sort of he's trying to come from a player's point of view. Now, he mentioned that these two players have been given verbal agreements, but nothing has ever been confirmed that Isak was ever given a verbal agreement or that Visser was. Now, this is just coming out from the players' side of things, not the actual football clubs. So how should O'Hara, Sam, be coming out with crap like that when we don't know what's been said behind the scenes? These verbal agreements, how do we know that they were ever said? And if so, we don't know it between the two.
It's so true, and I think all any of us have got to go on is, statements from Eddie Howe that he's made publicly that we can all watch back, so we know that they're correct. Obviously, Eddie hasn't used media outlets to convey his messages and use conduits in that sense. That's what Isak's been doing, and the only thing we have on record for Isak is he wants to explore his options. However, the optics, the timelines, if we look at the little milestones of activities and behaviours, it lines up that what the majority of Newcastle fans think does seem the most accurate. Because if you look at who we were going for in terms of targets at the beginning of the window, we were focusing on right wingers. So do we really think that if our recruitment team was aware that Isak was desperately unhappy to the point that he would do the things that he's done, why weren't we focusing on strikers at the beginning of the window? That didn't make sense. Then it just started to erupt. What was it, 2 weeks before it went like crazy on the media that, damn, he wants to explore options now. It was so late in the window. Was that like 6 weeks before the end of the transfer window? Yeah. That's when that statement came out. So I'm sorry, but if you line up those types of activities, everybody else's point who's against Newcastle, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I think we've just got to take everything into account here until we get a statement from the club.
Abs makes a good point. Clubs don't make promises. This isn't the playground. Though Isak is a greedy little brat who needs a good slap. I mean, me and Abs don't necessarily agree on a lot of things to do with football, but I agree with Abs 100% on that one. Somebody needs a slap somewhere. Martin Suter been with us for 15 months. Thank you, mate. Do Liverpool think they get Isak for cheap if we sign a replacement? Red, they have give us a week to sell or they walk. Pay 150 million or walk away. And this is the thing, Billy. It's, teams trying to, I guess, threaten us in a way to say, right, well, we're going to walk away and you won't have enough time to do anything. You'll have to keep Isak and deal with that situation. I think Newcastle are ready to do that. Newcastle, to me, don't seem like they're desperate for Liverpool to get in there and make a bid. Yes, we want the situation sorted and resolved, absolutely. But I think Newcastle United just saying, look, if we have to keep him in the back burner away from everybody, then we will. If we have to keep fining him, if he continues to be on strike, we will do that. We're perfectly entitled to do that. And we will still go and try and recruit a striker or two. And, Isak's position becomes more weakened as the days go by.
Yeah, if we get one striker in, that's the Wilson replacement.
Yes.
We need two to get Isak replaced as well. And saying how hard it is to get one, I'm kind of sceptical we do get two, if I'm perfectly honest. I think Eddie Howe's waiting, is hanging on until that September window when he'll believe he can integrate him back into the squad and get him back in the side. That's what I believe. I think Eddie Howe believes that too. Eddie Howe wants nothing more.
You've never mentioned that before, Billy, have you?
Well, I keep saying it, and it's as plain as day to me. That's what Eddie Howe wants that to happen.
I just don't know how that happens. I really don't know how that happens.
Well, Eddie Howe will believe he can make it happen, and if anyone can, it's Eddie Howe.
Yeah, of course he does. But at the same time, Liverpool are trying to sort of lowball us and letting them go for less than what we say he is worth. And we're not going to bow down to the pressure, Sam. It's clear what Liverpool's tactic is. It's will they or won't they kind of thing, and trying to keep us guessing. Newcastle just go about their business. If Isak wants to stay away, fuck him.
Yeah, and I think that's where my nervousness is coming in here. I think that we are in a position where we're comfortable PSR wise. Let's just sit and wait it out. But like I said at the start of the show, I think that there is an alternate reality where actually Newcastle United gets sued by Isak's people. And I think there'll be a huge sea change in how transfer business and contracts are actually done and written. These, verbal agreements and putting false hope into people's heads are absolutely ridiculous. Like you're thinking, what did you spit on your hand and shake on it? Is that really how things are done? It's ridiculous. But I'm getting increasingly more nervous that he will down tools. I'm skeptical that he will come back. I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. We need strikers.
I mean, what it's heading for, guys, is an incredible deadline day right now. Because if these haven't been sorted out by deadline day, there's going to be so much toing and froing. And you can get it all right here, guys, on deadline day. We start at 10 a.m. all the way through till the end of the window. It is a charity deadline day, of course. Everything raised in Super Chats on the day goes to 4 charities. We made 5,000 last year. Obviously, it's a little bit of a shorter time this year to try and do it in, but we'll obviously want to try and beat that target this year. And with your help, as usual, we normally can. So everything raised on Super Chats that day goes to charity. We've done it for how many years now, Billy? I think 4 or 5 deadline days we've done it now.
I think the first one we did was the one after takeout, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. So we've done it for a while now, and you guys have responded absolutely fantastically. So we start at 10 a.m. on deadline day all the way through till it closes at 7. We'll probably stay on a little bit longer to obviously discuss the day, especially if we have some signings. So join us for that. It's a day of just laughs and a bit of fun, and but hopefully we might actually be something to talk about with Newcastle United on deadline day, which we haven't done.
That was the last time we signed anyone, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Funny enough, since we started doing the deadline day charity streams, we've let's move on.
Except Alex last week.
Yeah. Unrealistic. Oh no, we did sign. No, we didn't get Gordon in the deadline day, did we? We didn't. Unrealistic optimist says Samuel Goldwyn of MGM fame allegedly said a verbal agreement ain't worth the paper it's written on. Well, I've got to agree, because we're in a very strange. I've never seen a transfer window like this, to be honest, and certainly involving our players. I think it's absolutely disgusting on one hand, the way that somebody has treated our football club. I condone Visser for what he's doing, because he's disrespecting the club that have brought him. Visser a couple of seasons ago, Billy, I remember doing commentary with you, And we were saying, God Almighty, he's terrible. He was missing chances. He was he looked terrible. And then suddenly, under Thomas Frank and Brentford's coaching staff, he's developed into what he is now, where he is a good Premier League striker. Yet he's throwing that back in the faces of the Brentford fans.
Yeah,
we can't just be hypocrites about this. Yeah,
no, it's unfortunate. I mean, God of the days where professionals were professionals, and they went when they were told to go, really, and we've accepted a bid for you. Off you go. 7 days are gone now. Unfortunately, players have generally and have done for quite a while since the Bosman, I guess.
Yeah,
the power in all this, and now the worms seems to be turning slightly with the owners kind of taking more of the power. So it's interesting. It's happening now. I think 10 years ago he's been well gone. Yeah.
Well, we're going to discuss this condone. Surely you mean condemn. I don't know what I said, Tom. Probably. You know what I'm like. Anyway, we'll come on to sort of more strikers shortly. Croc the Crocodile has said Sam's hair and heart, Paul and Billy never make that effort.
I spent all day doing none and left the fuck in the bathroom.
Yeah, mine fell off on the way to the studio, so I'm very sorry.
Hey, Paul, can I ask you a quick question? I don't know if you lads or anybody in the chat's seen the pictures of Jamie, Ruben, and Amanda and Mia Dad in London having
yes,
together. I don't know.
I was sent a photo this afternoon, actually. Brian, thank you very much for sending me that, by the way. Listen, we'd love to dream, wouldn't we? But I just
let me dream.
Yeah, Jamie's probably in London for various business meetings, and he's obviously still very good friends with Amanda and Mia Dad, and it's probably just a friends lunch. I don't think we can look anything into that, but it would be nice. I'd love to see them back. I really would. I think it would give everybody a lift for a start. I mean, can you imagine, Sam, that tomorrow or towards the end of the week, Newcastle United, put a little statement out saying we're absolutely delighted to welcome back in such and such a role Amanda Staveley. I mean, how much would that give everybody a lift?
Oh my goodness, it would be absolutely phenomenal. Like cork pop on the champagne. Yes, please. I would love that. And you're absolutely right. It's probably old friends meeting. I know that Amanda and Mia Dad are involved in I believe it's like the golfing side of AIF to promote that. So it very much could be that. But yeah, it just does give a little glisten, a little garnishing of hope, doesn't it?
Those of you that saying she can't come back because of the court case that's gone on and etc. She can.
Contract.
Not in that role that she was in, but she can come back as a whatever you want to call it. A club ambassador, whatever it may be, or voice of the fans, just something. She could actually come back in a different role. That would be wonderful. But listen, we're dreaming again. We're going off on a tangent.
I'm looking for hope here.
Yeah,
she can't come back as a shareholder, but she can come back as an employee.
Yes, she can come back as an employee, just not a shareholder.
I don't think she can come back at the top level, at board level, but if we were being creative, she could come back at the likes of a contractor, an advisory role.
Well, let's be honest, we could create a job for her, couldn't we? I mean, there's ways and means of doing things these days, and we've seen that with people getting around FFP. So, things get created, like selling ladies' teams to yourselves and hotels and to yourselves. Good evening, Todd Bowley. So yeah, there's many ways. Big Diamond has been with us for a month on membership. Thank you, mate. Good evening, Paul, Billy, and the gorgeous lady Sam. Unfortunately, I think Isak stays, and he will be playing by November. Interesting. By the way, before
we'll be playing a long time before that.
I would imagine.
Billy?
I'd imagine they'd want him to integrate it, but I listen. I stand by that. Chris at Evermore says, evening TTR, O'Hara is rage baiting tit. Yes, I know you don't feel so strongly about him either, Chris. By the way, we'll hopefully get Chris on deadline day as well from Evermore to give his say on the transfer window. So as usual, I haven't actually asked him yet, but there you go, Chris. I will be in contact with you soon, matey.
No pressure.
No pressure. He's a good lad, Chris. If you haven't subscribed to Evermore NUFC, by the way, get yourself subscribed. Brilliant channel. Really good friends of this channel as well. They do a fab job on there as well. So please go and give them a look and a subscribe. before we move on to talk about some more forwards, Keith Downey, within the last hour, has just reported that Lewis Miley is gathering interest from other teams. Ipswich Town have basically inquired about a loan deal for a season to take him to Portman Road in the Championship, and Newcastle United have said no. Now, there was rumours about this coming around, Billy, that obviously with Ramsey coming in, etc., would that push Lewis Miley down the pecking order? But I don't think we have such a pecking order there in midfield, because with all the games we're going to play this season, I think Eddie Howe definitely has plans for Miley. And to be fair, Miley's looked quite good in pre-season. So Newcastle are going to turn around and say, what's the point of trying to build a squad and then we let somebody like Miley go out on loan?
Well, yeah, but I mean, he can't play on the left-hand side of a three. So he's there to cover the 6 and the right-hand side of a 3. And with all the games we've got, he's going to get plenty of minutes this season. Plenty of minutes.
I mean, ideally...
So why loan him out?
Yeah, absolutely. But ideally, Sam, do you think, given Miley's age, if we had a bigger squad or bigger cover in midfield, that would be an option to send him to the Championship for a year to play in the first team for Ipswich, if we had more midfielders in front of him?
Yeah, hypothetically, because I think he needs minutes to be able to kick on. That injury really hampered him last season, but we've seen those glimpses that he's going to be a real talent. He's going to be a star. How does he get to that level? Well, he needs minutes in the legs. We're not in a position where we have the depth to afford to give him that luxury. So right now he stays put, and it's not like he won't get the minutes with us, because we are going to be stretched.
To be fair, Billy, we're talking about bringing him on as a player. There's no better players than what's already around him to bring him on as a player. You've got Bruno, you've got Tonali, Joe Linton, Jacob Ramsey coming in, who is older than Miley and a bit more experienced. He can also help. So, there's players around him that are just going to improve his game.
100%. Yeah. To be fair, like you said earlier, he looks a better player already in pre-season. Yeah. He looks to have filled out. He looks physically stronger. And I guess with age, that's going to happen, isn't it? And I think he'll get plenty of minutes this season. Absolutely. Yeah,
I do. I can see him getting...
And he'll contribute as well, because I think he looks good. He looks back to how he was his first season. He really took the league by storm, I felt.
Well, he did. And look, the thing is, as well, like you say, he's got Champions League experience. He was fantastic for us in the Champions League. And that was 2 years ago. It's incredible to think that he's still so young. That was 2 years ago when he played in the Champions League. And he's bulked up so much since then. He's more of a mature player. And I think Eddie has big plans for him this season. He's a big fan of Miley. And Miley's learning every day from the players we've just mentioned. And, of course, Eddie Howe. Let's not take the Eddie Howe factor out of this, Sam, because he's renowned. Jacob Ramsey said in his interview when he was signed for the club how much of an inspiration Eddie Howe was to bring players on.
Proven track record is what you call that.
That's right.
Track record. And, I mean... He does it with he does it with new players, but he also does it with the old dogs as well. Joe Linton, look at the miracle that's been worked there. Not only just getting him into an international squad and up to that standard, but actually changing his position as well. Amazing. Dan Burn, my goodness, like the amount of progress that can be attributed to Eddie and the training team. It's astonishing. So I think it is better for him to be around Newcastle at this really pivotal time in his development. And I think we're doing the right thing. We're thinking of the depth. We're thinking of him.
Ball Geordie, one of our mods, of course. Evening TTR family, Paul, Billy and Sam and everyone else here. Sam have already thanked Alex, but I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to meet my son and his mum last weekend. Very kind. It
was a pleasure.
Kieran, a member for 17 months. Is any news on the Atalanta striker, Ademola Lookman? We'll come on to him in just a tick because Peter Garthwaite has sent in the super chat as well. We should walk away from Visser. He is no better than Isak. We should exploit Villa's situation and try to get Watkins. Well, Watkins has been... There's been a little bit of whispering about him today, but nothing substantial. But Ademola Lookman, Billy, he's I think Atalanta, I think if he's refused a new contract or something. I don't know what the situation. I read a little bit about it earlier. I mean, would he be an option, do you think?
Well, he's certainly not the player he was when he played in the Premier League for lots of clubs, Everton, Leicester. Just didn't look good at all. Went to Italy and suddenly become one of the best strikers in Europe. Winning European trophies and all sorts. Looks a completely different player. He's really reached his potential. Is he a gamble? Yes, I think so. Is he feasible? I guess anyone's feasible at this precise moment in time.
Well, yeah, that's the situation we'll find ourselves.
Is he the one I'd go for? Probably not. No, probably not. It's a massive gamble for me.
I mean, if Villa turned around and said 60 million for Watkins, Sam, would you take that deal?
I mean, right now, I'd consider playing up front as a striker. Yes. Yeah.
well, I think you would if somebody offered you 60 million. I think, I'd cut my right hand off for that. Well, I probably wouldn't, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think your hand's worth more than that.
Yeah,
but do you know what? Not a first choice, but I'm feeling the knee-jerk reactions coming in. We haven't done business quickly at all over this window. The clock is starting to tick with, rupturous sound now. It's a really difficult time for us to be in. So we're going to have to maybe knee-jerk, shoehorn plays in just to get someone in the door at this point. So would I take him? Yeah.
I mean, we've got to be careful we don't get ripped off. That's the thing. I mean,
we don't.
But that's the thing. I mean, Billy mentioned it earlier on in the show. It's now when we approach teams for one of their players, they'll think, oh, Newcastle, they're desperate for a striker, i.e., we will bump the valuation up a little. And I think that's what Brentford have done. And to be honest, Brentford could do what they want. This is their player. And if they want to value him at £60 million, then they have every right to do that. We don't have to necessarily agree with it and think he's not worth that. But if Brentford think they can get 60 million and get an absolute fortune for him, then they're perfectly entitled to do that, just like we are with Isak. Nathan, I think you've had a serious bang on the head today, matey. I don't know where the hell you're going with that. Kiefer Moore.
Just time for someone anyway, hasn't he?
I'd rather sign Roger Moore, and he doesn't have a good look about him these days. Dear me. Chris says Villa sold Bailey to Roma. I can't see them letting Watkins go now.
Yeah, they're also trying to sign Jackson, aren't they? So
yeah. I tell you what, it's all sort of boiling up. It really is. But there has been a couple of players mentioned today that have been mentioned by mainstream. The first one is Rasmus Højlund at Manchester United. Now, I know a lot of people do not want to do business with them, do not want to have anything to do with Manchester United. But look, Rasmus Højlund was a very good player before he went to Manchester United. I watched him a few times. As everybody knows, I watch a lot of the European leagues. He was a good player. And Manchester United over the last few years has been like walking into a cemetery, hasn't it? You go there, your career falls off a cliff. Would you, Billy, think that Eddie Howe could do anything with Rasmus Højlund, or have you seen enough of him to think that maybe the Premier League is the actual problem and he's not a Premier League striker?
No, I don't think. I think Eddie Howe could definitely do something with him. I just think that a price for Rasmus Højlund would be different to us than what it would to anyone else. And therefore, they'd probably expect to get 70, 80 million from us, whereas they probably get 40 million from elsewhere.
Yeah, they're going to wonder if we.
I wouldn't be interested.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be interested personally.
I mean, look, another one is Strand Larsen, Sam, from Wolves. And I think at this point, Strand Larsen, apparently, if you believe what you see in reports, would be open to a move to Newcastle. And listen, people came at me earlier on saying, oh, yes, but Strand Larsen's just signed permanently for Wolves. But that was already agreed before it was confirmed, and that was sort of 20-something million. But what other people are saying was, well, yes, but Wolves can double the money on Strand Larsen. If we went in for him and said, right, £40 million, Wolves aren't going to say no to that. They've made a fortune on him, and just signing him in the summer and then making double what they paid.
I mean, we can say they're not going to say no to that, but they're in a similar position to Brentford, are they not? Like I think they're going to really
I guess so.
struggle
Yeah.
in the league, and it's going to be worth more to them commercially to stay in the Premier League than it is to make a quick, swift flip on a player. As far as I'm aware, he gets kind of mixed reviews. I probably haven't seen enough of them to think, yeah, do you know what? Let's do it. But again, I'm a desperate woman at this point, so
Jesus Christ.
I would welcome.
Just how desperate, Sam? Just how desperate?
On a scale of 0 to nuclear.
Dear God, we'll not go down that avenue. But listen, we still got Champions League to offer these players, you know, and some of these strikers would have thought that, you know, certainly in Visser's situation, he would have thought that his opportunity maybe to play in the Champions League had gone. Yet suddenly Newcastle are there and offering him the opportunity to play in the Champions League, the biggest competition in the world, you know, the club competition. And I don't know. I just think that must be some opportunity for players. And Strand Larsen may feel the same, although he's now not going to kick up a fuss, apparently. He's still just going to get on his job, which is exactly how it should be. Nicholas Jackson mentioned again, Billy, and of course Nkunku, but I genuinely think people have been put off Nkunku because he hasn't played a lot of football.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player, though, before his injuries.
Yeah.
I see him going back to Germany, if I'm perfectly honest. Hell of a player.
Leipzig would seem an option, an obvious.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Brilliant player, really good player, but just hasn't worked for him in Chelsea, has it? And as for Jackson, I mean, you might as well sign Usain Bolt, because all he's got is pace for me. Nothing else. And a bad attitude.
Yeah, I mean, Chris at Evermore says, I'd rather sign Michael Jackson. I mean, yes, I've never seen anything in Jackson. Anything. There was a couple of people, Sam, who said yesterday, a couple of journalists said Vlahovic over in Juventus. Now, I thought he'd actually left Juventus and was now a free agent, but apparently that's not the case. There was a lot of reports came out saying that Vlahovic had come to some sort of mutual agreement to terminate his contract. That doesn't seem to be the case. He's got a year left. But the problem is how much, and Juventus are open to selling them. I don't think Juventus have made any secret about that, but it's how much and what wages, because there's nobody, I think, in European football can afford to pay him what he's getting now. He'd have to go to Saudi. So if he wants to play in the Premier League, he'd simply have to take a pay cut.
Yeah, he'd have to be very motivated by obviously what we can offer and being in English football. But I mean, are we going to see retribution for Kelly doing business over there, price wise? I mean, if it wasn't high already,
you know,
fans are
looking for 20 million
payback
for that centre back. Yeah.
Do you remember that kid? That was shite.
Yeah, I mean, bless him. The Sunderland rumours went quiet very quickly on that. Guys, Mitrovic is not coming back to Newcastle. Those of you that are dreaming of this, please wake up, or you will drown in the milk of your cornflakes. It's not going to happen. I mean, the thing is, Billy, we do need some kind of physicality up there, don't we? Because I mean, we said that was a bit of a criticism of Isak, that he wasn't physical enough. But now where we stand, and we see like Anthony Gordon, who's very svelte. He's not the big butch centre forward. We need a bit of physicality up there. Like, you know, I remember a couple of seasons ago, can you remember we played Arsenal at the end of the season and we beat them, I think it was 2-0 a couple of years back. Callum Wilson absolutely bossed the two Arsenal centre-backs. He was into them the whole game, not necessarily winning the ball, just giving them a hell of a time. And that's the type of forward I think we need.
Yeah, I mean, but Alexander Mitrovic just doesn't have the pace to press.
No.
He doesn't want to press. He's never pressed anything in his life apart from the left button, I think. So not a kind of player we need. Physically he is, and he scores goals, but you're not going to get what Eddie Howe wants from a striker with Alexander Mitrovic, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's just not going to happen. I mean, who in your mind, Billy, would you say was that, that may be available or maybe out there that is that physical striker?
I think we missed out on John Duran. I really do. He's gone on loan to Turkey. I don't know in Turkey. It'd have been an ideal signing. I know, okay, people say he's got an attitude. I mean, you've got to have some kind of attitude to be a striker in the first place. You've got to have a bit of selfishness about you. And you have to stand up for yourself. And I think John Duran's got all those attributes. Unfortunately, he's gone on loan to Turkey. So strange that the PIF didn't offer him to us, but there you go.
Well, nobody can tell me that Alan Shearer didn't have an attitude.
Absolutely.
I mean, Neil Lennon will probably bow to that.
He headbutted his foot, didn't he?
Yes. I don't know what Neil Lennon's foot was thinking of. Disgraceful challenge. Alex Leaning says, at this point, I say, fuck it, let's just roll with Asula and Neve and see what happens. The lads will give 100% to get Asula scoring goals.
Oh, that's the spirit. What a great tactic, Alex. Can't say I agree.
Come on, matey. I mean, I don't think there's many people in this chat think that Asula is going to make the grade, to be honest. And I'm one of them. Listen, he works hard. He puts himself about. But is he really going to be the quality we need to be at the top of the Premier League and in the Champions League season after season? I'm not so sure. Ab says, who was that big bulky guy at Forest?
Marteta.
No,
it's not.
Forest.
Who is it?
Mamanakis, the owner.
No, I think she's talking about a certain Christopher Wood, guys, who scored again at the weekend. Look, Chris Wood has done well wherever he's been, apart from, well, saying he didn't do well at Newcastle. He had his moments, but we didn't play to Chris Wood's strengths. I don't think, because we're not this team that gets the ball and whips it in, are we? We're just not. We fart around with it in little triangles and then try and pass it in the goal.
We wait for any physicality that we have in the team's gone off before we start pushing the ball in.
Exactly, yeah. We do, and we've done that in pre-season as well. I mean, look, Chris Wood benefited from an outstanding performance from a certain Elliot Anderson at the weekend. Did you see that ball he played through for Chris Wood? Unbelievable, man. Ah, dear. What could have been? What could have been? Thomas says, Soloth, Samu, Gonçalo Ramos, Vissa, Mateta. Well, rule Samu out. That's not going to happen. And Newcastle, there's no interest there at all. Gonçalo Ramos, he said that he wants to stay at PSG. He said that numerous times in the last week or so. Mateta, I think, is a real powerhouse. He would be somebody that I would like to see us go for. But listen, Palace are going to lose Eze shortly. Yeah. I don't think, Gahey possibly as well. There's no way Mateta leaves. There's no way they let Mateta go. So Soloth, Billy, I mean, what do you reckon?
I mean, he scored lots of goals in Spain.
Yeah.
But he was absolutely dreadful, Crystal Palace.
He was. Lots of people in the chat mentioned
because he was young. Because he was young, I don't know. He may be okay. I don't know.
I think Samu's injured as well, by the way, because he came off the pitch yesterday in tears. So I'm not sure that that's going to happen for him anyway. DK35 says, why can't PIF pull some strings with a striker from Saudi? Screw the rules and what people think. Well, we can't screw the rules because we know as soon as we break the rules, there will be a new rule made up to punish us more than what everybody else has been punished with in the past. We know how that is going to work. Ian Fleming, member for 3 years, and of course, one of our mods. See, the Mackhams are up in arms over Shearer ignoring their team on match of the day. Oh, Sodom, I don't really care. They've had a good start, and we're going to have to put up with them for a while until they start losing loads of games, but that's just football.
I mean, West Ham were absolutely dreadful.
Oh.
Absolutely dreadful.
Hey, do you know what as well? You laughed at me. When I mentioned Everton could struggle this season. How bad were Everton last night at Leeds, by the way?
I thought of you when I watched it.
It was never a penalty, was it?
Well, no, but Leeds deserved to win the game, Billy. Gordon Bennett, it was absolutely horrific. And I was
once to get Grealish gelled in and that, and yeah, that'd be much better.
Will they?
I think
I'm not so sure. I thought they were goddamn awful. removing them from the bottom three may well come back to bite me on the ass because Moyes has got a big job on there. Some people are mentioning Boniface, built like a brick shithouse, but there's never been any links to him. And to be quite honest, there's not been a lot of links to him across Europe. He's
Pender as well. He's another one, and Golem Moani.
Yeah,
lots of them around, but I think it's probably too late to try and get these players now.
Well, the time it takes us to do deals, that is what the worrying thing is with Newcastle fans. Is the time it actually takes to get deals over the line. And I hate using that phrase, but I guess that's something that we could hear at the end of the window. We tried to get such and such, but we couldn't get it over the line. We couldn't do this. We couldn't do that. But Jesus Christ, it's a massive worry. Eric with a super chat. Calimundo for 26 million is the type of business we should be doing. Forrest got a steal, and he could be worth 3 times that in 3 years. It's poor recruitment.
Couldn't agree more.
He's a fantastic signing. Anyway, I do want to just touch on VAR. Those old 3 letters that we've sort of forgotten about, with the other 3 letters being PSR and FFP. But it's clear that they have monumentally fucked up over the weekend in quite a few games. I hate sticking up for Manchester United, but somebody tell me how that wasn't a penalty. Just unbelievable. The ball comes into the box. He takes him out from behind, gets nowhere near the ball, and it's not even reviewed. There was a handball incident on Friday with, was it McCallum? Somebody handballed it for Liverpool and got away with it. Yet they're saying that was a handball against Tarkowski last night. I think is absolutely incredible. And again, Sam, something needs to be done about VAR because it's completely spoiling the game. And we've only 1 game into the season.
Oh, Paul, I mean, I'm not ready to whinge about VAR.
Well, we have to. It's a talking point, Sam.
My gosh, we've not got enough to worry about.
It's going to affect us sooner or later. And by the way, I just saw who the referee was, or is going to be for Monday. And it's Simon Hooper, who I have a sneaky suspicion is a Liverpool fan. So talking about VAR, Sam, we may as well get it out of the way because we may be talking about it come next week.
Yeah, and you're right. I think I don't understand why we see such discrepancies in how VAR is used, where we see it in some tournaments where it's very, very quick and very efficient, yet fair, and yet Premier League, it takes a donkey's age to get anything done, and everybody feels the same about it. It's not like when we all have different opinions on VAR. We all believe it is spoiling the game and the pace and the excitement. So I don't understand why we see such differences in competitions over its use.
Yeah, some people actually in the chat saying that last night was a penalty. I mean, what on earth is how?
What happened last night is the referee gave the penalty after lots and lots of begging from the Leeds players. I mean, one stood in front of him going, please, 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 like that.
He bowed down to the pressure. He cracked.
And he definitely did. Because had he not give it, VAR would never going to overturn that.
No.
And that soft decision is what's cost Everton. No one got to it. That's a penalty. No one got to it.
Peter says Saliba's foot was planted on the ground. Cunha backed into him. Well, you would say that, Peter, given the badge that's next to your name. But never mind. I mean, look, what is he supposed to chop his arm off or something? I mean, I know that's what Moyes said as well. Are we getting to the stage now where, just chop your sodden arm off?
I mean, he's leaned into it, but it's a soft pen, in my opinion.
Well,
but he
I
has
think
leaned into it.
He chested away. I don't think he had any intention to put his hand there, which is why his hand was down where it was.
Yeah.
What about the Palace goal that got disallowed? The invented law for that one.
Well, yeah. I mean,
no one knew about
that. Was awful.
What is that law? What is that supposed to be? Because
you can't stand within a metre of the wall. That'd be bollocks.
It's so bad, man. It's absolutely so bad. Sean Dyche, by the way, is debating whether there was a gentleman's agreement between Isak and Newcastle. I'm not saying it has happened, but you'll know. You'll have done it. I've done it. So he's talking to, I don't know, some other person. So Sean Dyche has apparently had gentlemen's agreements in the past.
Yeah, great. You see, I tell you what, if you sign this, I'll make sure we don't get relegated this year.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're frightening the kids.
Yes. Look, nah. Look, nobody knows, and I don't think anybody will know till all this comes out in the wash in years to come. I mean, when people start writing books at the end of their careers and stuff like that.
But Paul, it's irrespective. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if someone spat on it or you've got a blade to your hand and your blood brothers now. It doesn't matter. It's not in writing, so it doesn't count. Move on. Jeez.
100%. 100%. Let's have a look. We're done with super chats. Right. Well, obviously, there's nothing more to talk about at the minute because it's all very, very quiet. It's all very... I mean, normally what happens is when we finish the show during the week, Newcastle United tend to do their business. A couple of times last week, we finished the show and then, Ramsey came in and then there was, potential approach for Ramos. That didn't really develop. A lot of people lost their absolute heads about that, but it didn't actually happen. And the thing is, are they... I don't know. Eddie's doing the business on the training pitch during the day, and then he's sitting in the office on a night time with his nephew and his, it's
cousins twice removed. Are they helping out as well?
I know what you could do. You too. You could advertise your Fanalysis stuff that's going on.
Well, go on, Sam. Explain what that is, because I'm obviously just signing up to it. So go on, give it a belt, Sam.
Newbie. Okay, folks. So you may have seen some adverts on Sky Sports about this. So Fanalysis is a brand new media platform. It is an app that has been released, so you can go and download it from either Google Play or the App Store on Apple iTunes. Have a look at it, check it out. It's all about having fan representation for your clubs. It is set up so you have a starting 11 who will represent your club. That's for every team in the Premier League. Both Paul and I are going to be representing, as is the wonderful Chris at Evermore as well.
Yep.
So get yourselves on the app. It's essentially to have a safe place to talk about things and really get a feel of fan sentiment. We do player ratings on there, match evaluations. It's a bit like a football focused Twitter. So go and check it out. It's fully endorsed by Sky. Gary Neville's involved in it as well. It's going to be really, really exciting, and it's a real honor for Paul and I to be representing the club.
Yep, absolutely. It's big for our channel as well that we've got two representatives in there. It's fantastic, and it's a very for me, Sam. It's one of these places where it's a safe place to go and talk about football. Where you're not going to get trolled because it's very much going to be tracked and all. No idiots will ever succeed on there. So it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because you
hang on a minute. Whoa! What's Tweety Pie laughing about downstairs?
No. I just thought you were saying how elite the people are that are involved in it, and anyone's involved in it, really.
Yeah,
and all those kind of nobodies don't get through to it. It's a very elite group.
Yeah. So it's a safe haven. So even though if you're not in the starting 11, you can still sign up as a fan and take part in it and be absolutely safe, knowing that you're not going to get abuse and all that kind of stuff. So
I think the major difference is that you select the club that you want to follow. So you sort of immediately, turning the dial down on any of the sort of negativity, the noise. I mean, I think all of us have really felt the pain of social media over the transfer window so far. So
I don't know what you mean,
yourselves on. Yeah, I know. I'm just like clutching at straws there with that one. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, do go and check it out. It's called Fanalysis app. If you put that into Apple or put it into Google, check it out on there. But I think it's going to be really exciting. It's you'll be seeing some familiar faces on the likes of Sky as well, which will be pretty cool. Yeah,
it will be. I mean, loads of people negative straight away because we've mentioned Sky. It's not that it's for you to go and talk about your football club, right? Simple as that. Brainwashed a maniac says Eddie Howe is the guy's new god. It's seriously getting ridiculous. We are competing with the signings off the newly promoted now. Get him effing out. He is the reason we are so late with making signings. That is the worst comment. I know you're a member of the channel,
harsh,
but that is very, very harsh. I mean, Eddie even admitted that losing Paul Mitchell was a huge blow. So I mean, Eddie's been thrown in at the deep end in all of this. So I think that's very harsh. Wow. But listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I do not agree with that opinion at all, by the way. But then again, opinions are there to be disagreed with. But that's just the way it is. I mean, oh my God. Wow. I mean, dear God.
They're an investor in the app. They are not running the app. It's a completely different thing. But do research yourself. Check it out.
Have a look at it. That's all we're saying. Have a look at it. By the way, Sam, the ladies' team, new director of football.
Yeah, Grace Williams. Williams, yes. Grace Williams, yes. Exciting. But again, late on the announcements, we anybody who follows the Lasses team, we knew that this was coming ages ago. So it's nice that we've got a little news article on it now. I believe that she was from Crystal Palace and she did actually support the Wales international team as well. So yeah, it's great to have someone at the helm, driving it, and I think it really does show the direction and trajectory of the Lasses. So I'm super excited about that one.
Yeah. Listen, the Lasses team continues to grow and grow, and of course, the Lasses show will be the War Lasses show will be back in September, and with Aaron and Sam. And listen, very exciting season because I think the Lasses are going to do well this season. I just have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to push for the P word, Sam. I don't want to say it. But I think we're on the way, and I think it's going to be very exciting.
Isn't the Super League having more teams in it?
Places. So we've got 2 additional places in the Women's Super League now. That is massive because traditionally it's been so difficult for teams to progress. Very, very limited places. I think it's only like 1 place, so it's so finite. Comes down to the last game of the season every single time. So having those extra spots open up, yes, this could absolutely be it now. I think that with the move to the new ground as well, because it's a real grass pitch, I think this is telling of where we're going in the right direction. So yeah.
And we've seen London get promoted last year and they've spent gazillions of pounds, it seems, on
how much, Billy?
Gazillions. Yeah. And you know what? The hired current internationals from a few different countries, like really ambitious female owner that they've got as well. She also invests in women's sportswear. Like, she's just going wild with it. And within a season, that was what she wanted to do. She wanted to get promotion, did it by investing the money where it needed to go. And, hopefully we're going in that direction as well.
Paulie says, so I don't have a TDR Lasses channel. Maybe better to showcase more. I mean, we can look at that in the future, but people can't. The time restraints on things like that is massive. It's every Tuesday during the Lasses season.
We do the double bill.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. They go straight on after we've done a show at 7. So that will start up again in September. But that is your helping of TTR pudding tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for your super chats and memberships. Thank you to the mods, Billy and Sam, of course. And a massive thank you to you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a like. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And all we ask for is that you hit the bell so you never miss an upload or a live show when we schedule them, or when we go live, you'll get a notification as well. But thank you very much. I'll be back at 9:30 with a breakfast show. Let's see what develops in the next few hours or so. I'm sure there'll be stories to tell in the morning. So I will see you then. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, folks, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
We're the lads and lasses.
Come back and check how she breathes.